what's going on, dude?
What's happening?
I'm on my phone. I literally walked into my house 30 seconds ago, so I'm like 10 steps behind, but I made it and I'm here. So, what is up, everybody? I hope everybody's having a great Monday afternoon. I have been running like a madman today.
You guys didn't have to rush that hard to make it back.
Oh, yeah, we did because, well, we have plenty of time. And then I was like, yo, let's stop at Five Below and Barnes and Nobles, and then let's get some Starbucks. And we have plenty, because we have plenty of time. And then we sat there and talked to the guy at Starbucks for like 20 minutes. And then I was like, well, at least they got they got some new stuff in there, and it's pretty good. So that's why I'm late. I had plenty of time, but.
Yeah, that's what I do normally. I normally time everything down to about the last couple of minutes, 5 minutes or so, and I'm pretty close. Hey, what's up, JP?
What's up, Amanda? I'm getting me logged in here on the computer so I can put my phone down.
Yeah, I know. I have all kinds of things to converse about today, so it's kind of different and nice.
Yeah, give me. I'm on the StreamYard right now, so.
Well, hey, just when you're on your phone, just make sure that you don't hit the red one that says end.
I know how to work it.
Hey, here you come. Sup, Shelby?
There we go.
Yep, audio's right. Video's right.
I mean, everything's right. Everything's good. Got my new phone.
I know, right? Dude, I'm telling, for video recording and for YouTube stuff, that is awesome.
What's up, Deletion Par? I don't think we actually know your name, but you've been popping around on some of our Reds videos, so it's nice to see you in here.
So let's talk about this individual. Every time he comments, he or she, not sure which, I feel like he's a brother at arms, because I feel like he's went through all the pain in Cincinnati that I have. So yeah, I'm glad to see the comments, and we like putting up the little clips. And we definitely think Joey Votto's probably the backbone of the Reds and how well they're playing right now.
Yeah, man, this phone camera is probably better than most cameras you can buy at Walmart.
Oh, for sure. Oh, definitely than Walmart. I mean, you have to really do a little bit of research to do better than that for what you're using it for video. So it's pretty phenomenal. You ought to do some kind of a setup video on it and show what it can do, because it's pretty awesome. Yeah,
for sure. I'm gonna get into it a little bit, especially with the Card Sharks channel. I might do the setup with that. It's the 12 Pro. I didn't get the Max because, like, I don't need a big phone again. My 8 Plus was big. This one's just a little bit smaller than the 8 Plus, but what I like about it is it goes back to the, like, iPhone 4 square setup, and I skipped that generation of iPhone. Funny story, I started with a 5C, and then I went backwards to an iPhone 3. And that thing was like a rock. You couldn't break it. I ran it over with my car. I smashed it into the concrete a million times after I upgraded my phone finally, and that thing is indestructible. And so I never got to have the boxy, cool-looking iPhone. And when I saw that this newest one, it'd been like 4 or 5 years since I upgraded my phone, and so that 8 Plus did me really good. And so, yeah.
So. You know what? I was going to talk a little bit really fast because we're going to.
Well, right before you get into that, just because she said something about the 11 Pro Max, I did a comparison with the 11. Well, not the Max. The Max is just the size difference, but the 11 Pro with the 12 Pro, and there is not a lot different. So if you want to use that for like your YouTube channel, I highly suggest it, because the camera on the 12 Pro is a little bit better just because they added some specs to it. But the 11 Pro's camera is definitely worth, recording with.
And as far as like anything that we're doing, it's perfect. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. So But yeah, that's the best camera out there. I mean, for phone users for sure. So I wanted to start this by today. It seems like a little bit of deja vu, doesn't it? So last Monday we sat here. We had just
we were all jacked up.
we were all jacked up.
To be fair, I think the Cardinals is a bigger deal than the Rockies, but the Rockies. This is the first time the Reds swept the Rockies at home since 2006. So I mean, it's another historic milestone. Not quite as big as the Cardinals, but this is a big deal. And yes, we were sitting in this exact seat last Monday. Getting all excited, going into the Brewers. But now we got to go to Milwaukee.
Well, I want to finish on that just a little bit because we sit here last week and we were pretty jacked up, and we definitely have coaching issues. Oh my God, yeah, I'm so happy to see Aristides back. I'll talk about him too, but anyway. So we were sitting here last week going into this Brewer series. We felt like we had an opportunity to really make some gains, and really we just saw some letdowns that could have been potentially avoided, and we didn't play very well. We scored a few runs, yada yada yada. The guys, Castellanos and Winker both played fairly well. And by the way, right now they're 2 and 3 in the All-Star voting for outfielders for the National League. So everybody vote, because them two guys definitely deserve to be on the starting roster.
100%. Yeah.
So, but we're going into Milwaukee this week. We're playing on the road, and we're not facing as tough a pitching. We've got some things to be happier about in this series because Joey is back, and he is actually swinging a pretty solid bat, and they look really good right now. We're hurting on the pitching a little bit, but it's not going to be too much longer, and you guys are going to want to know about Hunter Green, but it's getting close for Hunter Green to be coming up. He just got moved up to AAA, and dude's got a rocket cannon for an arm. I think he's going to be a star. Can't wait to see it.
Can we talk about the guy who started last night, his debut? I don't know how much of the game you were sitting down and actually watching while he was pitching, because I know it was earlier in the day and you were working. But you could tell that this guy was really nervous. Santillan, yeah, that's his name. But I just feel like I need to give a shout out to Tucker Barnhart, because I think him and his presence, and he was kind of coaching this guy and keeping him grounded. You could see him when he was giving his signals, how he was looking at him, bases are loaded, we got 0 outs, or there's 2 guys on base, we got 0 outs, we gotta fix things so we don't lose our lead. And he was listen, he was calm down, and I feel like no one gave any credit to Tucker Barnhart on this guy's success on the mound yesterday. And I think he did a phenomenal job helping, somebody who – it was his major league debut. He was probably nervous as hell anyway. And he gave up a run in the first inning. So, this was the second or third. But I think, I think he did a really good job helping this guy keep his composure on top of the heat they were facing. It was 90-plus degrees yesterday. Plus the fact, this is his rookie debut in a way. And so, this was big for him. And I think, Tucker deserves a shout out for that one.
Absolutely. And the thing of it is that he was visibly affected by nerves, and he's coming up to make this start. And you know what? It wasn't actually pretty. You could see some promise in what he does. He looks like he has the potential to potentially step up and be a number 5 starter. But here was the thing. He battled through. He gave up 1 run in 4 2/3 innings. And, he almost qualified for the win. He didn't quite get there. But he pitched well enough to get them into position to win. And that's what he was there to do. And congratulations, Mr. Santillan. That was a good start. You know what? If you stay up to make 1 more, I bet you look a little bit more comfortable. I bet you're a little better, and I bet you might pitch well, without the nerves, and with Tucker and Stevenson behind the plate. Man, those guys call really good games. I don't think people really realize how good of games they call, because they keep their pitchers in the game. I mean, these guys rely on them. They do a great job.
His whole body language, because when you're watching a baseball game on TV, especially, you don't see the pitcher's front. You see the catcher's front. And Tucker's whole body language is the reason why he had, he didn't give up 100 runs in 4 innings.
Yeah, he was motivating, slapping the ground, trying to keep his attention on him. He was trying to take the batter out of the equation and play catch with me. He did a really good job of keeping that kid motivated. I was really happy with yesterday's game. Now let's not go too far here because Colorado really struggles with the bullpen. They really struggle
on the road this year.
They struggle.
They've won 5 games on the road this year.
Yeah, I mean, they do not play well outside of the confines of their home stadium. However,
and they're barely at 500 at home. And I think the Reds help them keep them right above 500.
Yeah, I mean, but they're a different team here or there. So that's the type of, I call that, those are games that you're supposed to win, and you're not supposed to lose those games, especially when you've got as talented as a roster as we got.
I still think either way, despite, how Colorado plays on the road, how they play at home, Colorado kicked our ass in Colorado. I think we won 1 game, but overall they kicked our ass. So I think despite them being the best or the worst team, this was a big thing to do to get this sweep and win all of these games.
If we won 2 or 1 game out of this series, we'd be calling it a failure right now, and we'd be complaining about it for sure. I mean, because they needed to win all 3. They did, and now they got momentum today. And Deletion said that Aristides Aquino is in the lineup today. And he's been – now here's what I know about that. He's been down at AAA. He's been working on his swings, been working on hitting breaking pitches because that's where he struggles. If he can learn to lay off that bad breaking ball, that guy can hit a fastball probably as well as Castellanos or Winker. He went on a tear last year, and you know what? And then one more thing about him before you go, and I really am pulling for him to do super well and make it in the major leagues. It may not be with the Reds. I mean, they may end up sending him down and somebody picking him up off waivers. But Benzo of Benzo's Gold has that rookie card, that pre-rookie card thing, and he's got number 7 out of 10. It's a 1 in 10 card, and for no other reason, I want to see that card become valuable. But I think he's a great talent and can hit the ball.
Benzo's awesome, man. He's got some cool grabs. Him and JP, right?
Yeah, them guys. They had some. They showed off their skills on what they collect. Yeah, that's really sick. So sick. But, yeah, so we're going in there tonight. I admit the young kid Gutierrez, who's been rock solid since.
Oh, that pitcher, he's played, 3 games now, and he's looked really good.
Yeah, he's 2-1. He's got his ERA's less than 3. It's like 2.67, and he's been pitching very well. So, and they don't know him quite yet. So there's the opportunity there for him to seek us into the 6th or 7th inning, and maybe we can get some early runs today and kick it into gear and win going away. And getting that win today is huge because then we only have to win 1 out of the next 2 to win the series.
Absolutely. And, we're pretty close to being caught back up. We're above 500 for the first time since we were 9-8. It's been a long time, and everything about today or about the win last night, not even the sweep, but the win putting them above 500, winning their series, all of the above, this is a good feeling that we haven't got the chance to feel since the season started, basically. And I think it feels like they're getting back on track. And so as long as they can stay where they're at and not start declining like they had been and getting their guys healthy and getting everybody in there, I think, anything is possible. We have, if you think of all the people in our division, everybody else has a much easier schedule than the Reds do upcoming. The Cubs, the Cardinals, and the Brewers. The Brewers have to play the Pirates twice in the next month. And so, chances are they're going to win most of those games. Not all of them, but most of them. And so, everybody else has got a fairly easy schedule. We've got a pretty tough schedule in the upcoming weeks. And so, if we can get through the Brewers on top, at least, 2-1 or whatever, I think that would be huge for a push for us to have a good chance in the postseason.
Yeah, it's a long, long season, and you don't know what's going to happen going around the corner. But the thing of it is that you take it one game at a time and one series at a time. If it's a 3-game series, you want to win 2. That 650 win percentage is pretty golden in baseball. If you get anything over 580 is usually pretty solid. But yeah, that's it. We got to go in here today and knock out one quick. I feel like winning today is important because having your back against the wall puts a little pressure on there. But
yeah, man. The Cubs play the Mets tonight and tomorrow, and you watch them. They're killing their division with ease at the moment, and so I don't know if maybe everybody else just sucks ass right now, or the Mets are doing really good because I don't really follow that division that well. But that makes them look. That's a tough one. But a lot of the other ones, the Cubs are hot right now, and that's the problem with that is that they have an easier schedule than the Reds, and they're on fire right now. The Reds being hot is good. Yeah, they can win games, but the Cubs being hot, it feels like they can't lose. And I hate saying that but it's true. It's when they get like that, it just feels like they can't lose. And so I hope the Mets come out on top. I hope they get a sweep, honestly. I'm sick of Mark, and I'm sick of the Cubs. And so no offense, Mark, but I hate the Cubs so much.
I honestly, tonight, I feel like going in there, David Peterson's on the mound for the Mets, and I'm not sold on him and his 1-5 record and 6.32 ERA. Jake Arrieta's got the potential to go in there. I think tonight looks really good for the Cubs to steal one. However, it's a home game and the fans are going to be there, and we'll see if young Pete Alonso can go out there and spark some magic. I like him, and I like Jonathan Villar too. He's really fast. I like watching him play. So hopefully that the Mets can help us out today and knock a game off of this 5-game lead that the Cubs and the Brewers have on us.
Absolutely. Any day the Cubs lose is a good day for the rest of the world, man. Seriously.
Yeah, I know that he's struggled a little bit, but you know what? If Arrieta's either up or down, he's either on or off, and when people start hitting him, it's going to be a tough one for them. So yeah, and if you haven't noticed, if you didn't notice, Amanda, United in Sports, is a little bit of a New York fan. So
a little bit, man. She's a New York fan.
Just a little bit.
She's not from here.
She would know somewhat about that division, though. But anyway, going forward, hey, I know that we've been on the Reds for a while now, but I really
it's hard not to talk about the Reds when they do well. Next week, if they get their ass kicked against the Brewers again, on Thursday, we're going to have the opposite conversation just like last Thursday. When they're doing well, I want to talk about them all the time because deep down, I'm a loyal fan to the Reds, and I love them. It's just like the Bengals, man. As much of a Chiefs fan as I am, deep down, I can sit and talk about the Bengals all day. But
I agree with that wholheartedly, Delisha.
I agree about that too. But it's just so much fun talking about the Reds when they're doing well. Because especially this season and maybe a little bit last season, it's we know we have an all-star team, and when we lose games, no one understands. It's just how? How? Because you have a superstar team, you shouldn't lose games, and that just makes everyone hate David Bell, or at least me and you. I don't know if everyone else hates him, but I hate him, and I think he should be gone. What's up, Peyton?
I just don't like the sabermetrics thing that he plays all the time. He doesn't give guys a chance to get in rhythm. But, it's the way of the world right now. That's what the Dodgers do. It's how they basically won the World Series by playing number.
Stop Asian hate.
Hey, but, I know that we're big on the Reds, and we may come back to them right now, but it's starting to pop up in the chat, and I wanted to get over to the NBA today really bad, because the Suns look like NBA champs, don't they?
Dude, okay, so, Chris Paul has been what I've been saying he's been since he made it onto the Suns roster. Leadership. He's getting 20 assists a game. Sometimes he gets 17 points and sometimes he gets 40, but he's still averaging 15 to 17 assists a game. He's putting numbers on the board, whether it's him or he's passing it off. But Devin Booker, man, he has lit this playoff run up.
Yeah, the third quarter stats the other day with the six made mid-range jump shots. All of them were basically from the same spot, except for like one was an NBA record. He's pulling off. The way he looked in that series. Everybody knew exactly where he was going to go. They knew what he wanted to do, and he still buried those jump shots. And gotta say, that's what champions do. That's what leaders do. That's what LeBron couldn't do in that last series for the Lakers, and that's why they went home. Now the Suns get a chance to lick their wounds a little bit and get a little bit of rest while this Utah Clippers series goes on tonight, and that is probably this is an important game tonight for the Clips.
I mean, I'm pulling for the Jazz at this point. I mean, I know Shelby's probably pulling for the Clippers. She's a Kawhi fan. And no, honestly, it's very understandable. It's easy to be a fan of that guy. He's very talented. And, Paul George, his right-hand man. But, I feel like the Utah Jazz has spent the season being the best team in basketball, but no one has recognized that. They're like the most slept-on team. And, they got riddled with injury towards the end of the regular season. And so I feel like that just discounts them even more. And I'm pulling for them because I feel like it's hard to win 30 games in a row in the regular season at home and away, that's incredible. And they did a lot this season and no one gave them credit. They're like, oh yeah, they're undefeated for the last month, but you could probably beat them, it's just why are you discrediting this team who's kicking everybody's asses equally?
I heard an interesting take about Utah, and it was talking about the fact that they're organizationally, the upper management in that on that team runs it the correct way, and they've run it the correct way for a lot of years. They just always ran into a star buzzsaw. Michael Jordan broke their hearts multiple times in the 90s. But, that organization is run well. It deserves a championship. And, and it's very possible this year. I mean, everybody else at Peyton has got the Clippers beating Utah as well. The sports writers, the sports books, they've all got it there. You got to pull for a team that's run the right way. There's not a lot of BS that comes out of Utah. And they've got a lot of stand-up, solid players. I love Mike Conley, and I like Rudy Gobert for sure.
I mean, look, I could easily see either team taking this series. Like you said, today is a very important game, which will say a lot about what's going to happen next. And, I'm not going to be mad at either team for winning or losing because I have no ties, no heartstrings attached to either team. And so, I'm just kind of enjoying it for what it is. The underdog best team in basketball and, one of the two LA teams, which, are put on a pedestal for being in LA. But so either way, I think it could go either way. But I'm pulling for Utah. I think they worked really hard this season and they did very well. And I don't know. I just feel like they're still battling through injury and still able to keep pushing through. And so I think it says a lot about their team that they have this year, and something special is there, and it's just not getting the credit I feel like it deserves. And so I'm wanting to see them go as far as they can go.
I kind of agree with that. And then the other part with this is that I know we were kind of jumping on the Atlanta bandwagon a little bit. Do you see them falling short?
You were jumping on the Atlanta bandwagon, dude.
What? I was jumping on the Trae Young the Trae Young bat.
The only thing I like about Trae Young is making fun of his voice. I mean, I'm not discrediting him as a talented player. I like seeing his progression through the terms of his basketball career, not so much just NBA, but his basketball career and how much he's grown as a player and become a leader at a young age. So I love to see that. That's awesome to me. But, I really like this 76ers team. And I think this is something Amanda's going to disagree with me on. Being a New York fan, I feel like it's hard to like any Philadelphia teams. She's a Giants fan and she's a Nets fan and the Islanders or whatever the hockey team is. But But I feel like I just like this 76ers team a lot for not liking, not caring about either of the Atlanta or, I mean, for what happens to most Atlanta sports, I hope, they're able to go as far as possible. But I'm just enjoying the 76ers team this year.
Yeah, I like Embiid if he can stay healthy. I love
I
Ben
mean,
Simmons.
the best thing about that is Embiid went out for a good portion of the year injury-wise, and they were still winning games. They were still, playing well and, well enough to keep them in playoff contention. And so they're proving that they don't need, he's not a superstar, but he was nominated for MVP this year. So he's like on the verge of being considered a superstar. And so they played and they won games without their superstar and got themselves into the playoffs with or without him. And so, I have a lot of respect for that. People, it's just like if Luka Doncic went out, for 8 weeks, the Mavs wouldn't have made it into the playoffs. I hate to be that way, but it's just, if you can't play without your superstar, you can't win playoff games, and that's exactly why the Clippers beat them. They couldn't win games when Luka was hurt. And so I like the fact that Philadelphia has enough depth in their roster and their bench that they were able to continue to win games and play good basketball to get them to where they are. So, for that series, I like Trae Young, and I'm impressed by everything he's accomplished in his career. And I'm happy for him. He's excited. He's fired up to be where he's at. But I'm pulling for Philadelphia on this one just because I have a lot of respect for how they handled their season this year.
Yeah, Atlanta's got their back against the wall. They have to win today. I feel like the Clippers have to win today too. So both teams that are playing tonight, Utah can take control and Philadelphia can put the cruisers on. When you're talking about the other series, all the injuries for the Nets, which everybody feared. Now Durant is forced to go at this pretty much without his other two superstar buddies against.
Yeah, Kyrie might not come back this playoff series, whether they win or lose, with that ankle injury. And, James Harden, the hamstring, you can't really mess with your hamstring, especially if you're an athlete. And, Katie, look, so this is where Brooklyn's going to earn their respect. Because obviously they have a superstar trio. It's not just one guy, it's not two guys. They have a trio of superstars, and they're getting a lot of discredit on all these sports talk shows because they're like, we don't pull for superstar teams. We want just talent and without having to have the biggest name on your team to win. And so, no one's really pulling for them because of that. And I think this is proof that they are worthy of, all the high talk. I'm saying that I still think, with the regular season, how it went out, that their three did not play more than 10 games together. And so I think they already proved that they can win without each other, and so that they don't have to have three superstars to win. So I think them winning tonight or tomorrow.
I think it's tomorrow.
Yeah, I think them winning tomorrow is with just Kevin Durant and not Kyrie and not James Harden will be a big slap to the face to all those guys who discredited them because they were just being called a superstar team.
And the other injury on that team, that I feel that is Spencer Dinwiddie. That's probably not going to be playing. I don't know what to the extent he's hurt. I haven't really seen, but I know he's not active as of currently. He's another important guy on that role. Joe Harris is going to have to step up. Blake Griffin's going to have to step up.
Joe Harris is my favorite member on that team. Let's be real here. I think he is underrated.
But, they're going to have some of these role players and more. And, at least on the defensive end, Blake Griffin is going to have to play Giannis, tough. He really is. It's going to – and, then you got Brook Lopez in there too. So you have got the height and the size of Milwaukee is going to be tough. But I look forward to seeing if Kevin Durant, because Game 5 is probably the most pivotal game in any series. It's 2-2. The winner takes a distinct lead and has to win 1 out of 2. The loser, their back's against the wall. So
I think if Brooklyn wins Game 5, Brooklyn takes a series. If Milwaukee wins Game 5, we'll probably see 7 games.
And you know what? And that's not good for, regardless, then don't you think that if this series goes 7, do you think that really puts the favor in Philadelphia's court to go to the finals?
Yeah.
I mean, you're down, you're stretching out. I mean, the Bucks don't have a lot of injury problems right now, but however, just having to keep playing in more and more games, fatigue plays into these. That's the team that's the best condition sometimes wins Game 7, hands down, because they're ready for Game 7 or the overtime games, or plays well at the end of the fourth quarter. Conditioning's huge.
No, I'm going to say that over and over again. That's why the Heat did not win the finals last year, is because Jimmy Butler played every minute of that second to last game, and he got wore out. And then the next game, they got their ass handed to him because they were beat. Like, overtimes in the playoff games are not good on those players, and if you got to play 7 games, that's not good either. If you know your team's going to win, I mean, you don't know, but like you want to get those series over as quick as possible so you can have some rest in between your next one. And so any teams that go to Game 7, whoever they play has an advantage unless they also went 7 games in their series. And so, I just feel like it can only hurt the team to have to play 7 games.
Yeah, I mean it really is kind of looking like, if I don't know that we might end up with Philadelphia in the finals, but God, I'm telling you what, right now the way Phoenix is playing, they look so comfortable. In my head, all of a sudden they've become the favorite, and and they weren't the favorite going in. They weren't even thought to make it this far. I mean, they're supposed to be done, and I love watching it. Chris Paul is probably one of my favorite NBA players that's still active. I really hope to see them progress on further. I really want to see him in the finals. I think Chris Paul will put on a show. And are you froze? Yes, you are. You're froze.
Yeah, it just froze back to back 2 different times. Honestly, though, at the beginning of the season, I said it, I was like, it's going to be Brooklyn and Phoenix in the finals. I'm not so sure about Brooklyn at this point, but I'm still confident in Phoenix, 100%.
Yeah, they haven't had there's no chink out of their armor right now. They made it through healthy. They're moving on to the Western Conference Finals, and you don't know how long this series is going to go. If the Clippers win today, we're probably going 7 games. That's probably a fair assessment. So, they're going to get a chance to lick their wounds and get ready to go and get fired up for this series. Game 1 may be a little rough if they have to wait too long, but I think they're all professionals. I think they'll handle it. I love that team. It's one team that I don't mind seeing go. There's teams that I don't ever want to win anything, and I'm not necessarily going to mention them today, but that's one team I would like to see win.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this is what I'm saying right here. This is the only reason Giannis is as talented as he is, because he's like 15 feet tall. You can't guard someone that tall. Like, no one's going to jump up and block him, so his height is his advantage over everybody. And, he can't shoot free throws, and, I don't know. I just don't think he is worthy of winning 3 MVP titles in a row, or 2, or however many. I just he does some crazy shit, but I don't know. I just feel like there's other guys that could possibly earn that award over him. How many rings does he have?
So I was here's something hilarious, and I told you that we was going to end up being a topic. And it's growing, and we're probably still going to end up having to talk about it a little bit. But the spider tack in Major League Baseball. So the other day I got on, and I went on there, and I tried to find some online to buy it and get some sent here. Everywhere I go, the shit's sold out. I can't get any. So I really think that I know it's starting to pop up in more mainstream headlines. It's starting to get talked about a little bit more. Trevor Bauer really came out, and he's put the ball in the MLB's court on that. So but I thought it was interesting. The second I go to try to find this glue that these pitchers are using for their spin rate on the baseball, I can't buy it nowhere. It's sold out. Nobody has any.
I do think that's funny. Yeah.
I mean, I was just going to have it. I was going to buy it so I could play with it, so I could make an opinion. I could come up with an opinion. I was going to go throw baseball just to see what it did, for my arm, because I know I'm not nowhere near as strong as I used
If
to.
you do get a hold of that stuff, we should definitely make a video.
Yeah, I mean, we could try it out because I can throw a pretty decent curveball. Give me some spider tack and increase my spin rate. Let's see how much break I can get on that bad boy.
I'd have fun doing that.
You know, I there's no day in here that is ever complete without tweaking your interest in the NFL, and I have to do this today. But let's see. What do you think about today and Stephon Gilmore not showing up to a mandatory mini camp today and Belichick covering for him in the media? Did you read that one yet?
I've been running all day, but my initial thoughts about that, without having any knowledge, is like, obviously, I think Belichick wants him there. He's one of the better corners. I'm not going to say the best, but he's one of the better corners in the league. I have really twisted theories about that, and with the whole cheating in the past, whether it be true or not. And I've been watching some documentary type things done on Belichick and everything. So some conspiracy theories that are starting to look more true than conspiracy. And I think he's going to cover for him until the end of time, until he's officially not on the Patriots roster under Bill Belichick. I just think he's going to continuously cover for him no matter what happens.
So just a quick little insight to anybody that doesn't know, Gilmore's on the last year of his deal. His deal is very team friendly, and instead of playing this last year out, he would like a new deal. I'm not fair. Sure. And it is fair. I mean, you know what? But he's right there in that same age category. I don't know how much they're going to bend. The reasoning, Belichick called it something to do over traveling and getting there. Maybe using COVID as an excuse. He kind of beat around that bush about logistics, about getting there, that there might be some hangups there. He didn't, come out and say, he should. I mean, he was required to be there. And guess what? If you have to be at work at 4:30, guess what time you're at work? You're at work by 4:30. But he did cover for him. Says that and he was talking about several guys that are in this situation, that they're close, is what he said. We're close on a couple of guys. I think that was the exact quote. So, his coach is covering for his player. That's the best cornerback on that team for sure. He needs him in that defense to be to win the division. To win that division, he needs Gilmore as a cover corner. So, all that being said, I hope they work out a deal with him. I don't know how many years they can afford to give him at 32, but I just thought that was kind of interesting. But Belichick is really good at how he handles the media, and then covering his guy like that shows that he's really a player's coach in that sense. And you froze it again. There you are.
I was listening.
Oh, you froze though. You locked in a good spot. That's the thing, Peyton. I'm baseball, basketball till the end. Maybe not so much the NBA. She is pretty slick on her football, and together we're pretty damn good in football as a team. We both really dissect this stuff fairly well usually. Oh, and that was one of the big headlines today that I saw coming into tonight. Into our discussion. Was there anything out there? Anything out there that you had in your head for discussion today that you wanted to get into that we haven't so far?
Well, I don't know if you've been keeping up with the Bengals media at all in the last couple weeks, but I think it's fun. Let me start over. I think it's kind of cool and gives you kind of a little bit of hope that every day that they have their practices and whatever, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have been staying like a couple hours extra every day, just those two, to keep getting more reps in together. And I think that is like super awesome that they're rekindling that that connection that they had in LSU and trying to, make the statements they made leading into the draft become a reality and them, working well together on the field. Like, look, I'm not saying Jamar Chase is going to be the best wide receiver that there ever is. Do I think he's a good replacement for AJ Green? Yeah, I do, 100%. And I'm not saying anybody's ever going to be AJ Green because AJ Green was AJ Green, just like Ocho was Ocho. He's gonna be Jamar. But the fact that they're putting in that work to make all of the things they said, basically in their campaigning to draft him, a reality, it's kind of hope that they both have a breakout season. Him as a rookie and Joe Burrow coming back from injury into his second season. I'm really excited. I my whole life it's just like with the Reds, win or lose. At the end of the day, I love watching them play, and it's fun for me. I get mad. I say some mean things I probably shouldn't say to the TV, just like I do to freaking Bell. What's his name? I just forgot his name.
David Bell.
David Bell. Yeah, I say the same things to Zach Taylor. I say to David Bell, and. But at the end of the day, I like watching them play and watching them put. I already knew Joe Burrow was a football guy. Like, I've never seen a player coming out of college that was more passionate about the sport than Joe Burrow. Like, in all the years I've watched football, like that dude is 100% a football guy, and so I already knew he was there. But to see, Chase, he kind of comes off as he wants to be the best. Or at least he wants people to think he's the best, whether he's the best or not. Like he's just all talk, and the fact that he's putting in the actual work with Joe to get that connection, to get good, to learn each other on the field again, and try to be the best they can. I hope they got good at the quick release passes just in case that O-line falls apart. But I'm just so excited to watch the Bengals team come together because if they're not there this year, they should be there by the next season or two to where they're honest contenders.
It's amazing that everything about them contending depends on one thing, and that's Joe Burrow's health, keeping him off his back. And I really hope that they've done enough to do that this year.
I firmly believe that, and this is not putting my faith in Zach Taylor because I wouldn't do that if I had a gun in my head. But this is me just as an opinion, as of what I've watched in the free agency and the draft and whatnot, and even some of their interviews in here and there and in between. I have faith that they have put a lot of work into that offensive line. A lot of critics are saying they didn't do enough, but I think it's already at least 50% added on to what they had last year, and they got rid of Bobby Hart. Those whatever the penalty's called, the false starts. A lot of those false starts will be cut away with him being gone, and he couldn't control his temper, and he was problematic. And I think they got better guys in there. They've got a veteran that came from Minnesota. They've got the dude who was Trevor Lawrence's bodyguard. They got some good guys in there, and I really think that this offensive line, from the way that it ended when Joe Burrow got hurt, from that game until now, is already so much better. And so I have faith in that. Just knowing that I'm confident that offensive line is better. Now they need to get the reps in, and this is where it comes into play that this is going to be if it's Zach Taylor's fault or not. He already came out and said, talking about these linemen he drafted, he was like, well, this guy is good at left tackle, so I'm going to put him at right guard. That's where he's going to start. Yeah, that fucking makes sense. Your first draft or your second pick in the draft, one of the higher ranked offensive linemen, and you're going to put him in the complete opposite side of what he is good at. He's he is great at this position. I watched the interview. He was like, he's great at this position. He is so talented. I have so much faith in him. So we're going to move him to this one instead. I'm like, are you kidding me? Look, I get it that you've got other guys there, but you got to try to work them and to where that, get them comfortable before you just start moving them around. This is where I compare Zach Taylor and David Bell. They're just putting guys in random spots and expecting it to just be perfect. And, like, it's stupid, and that's why that people get hurt.
It's why people get hurt. And you know what? If you're a wide receiver and they got you playing running back, you're doing something new. So your concentration level may still be there, but you're having to relearn a position and moving guys around like that. That's what I always said. The guys that, Kyle Farmer, right? This guy he's built to play different positions. He's a utility player. That's his role on the team. Shortstop, anywhere else that you want to put him in the third party catcher. That's what he does. That's what he's good at. But, the Suarez at shortstop, it wasn't that it didn't work out. Suarez used to be a shortstop, but he's comfortable at third. Now that he's back playing third more often, he's hitting the ball again. He's not worried about his defense because he knows when he's at third base, he's going to play good defense. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Don't move people around unless it's an absolute emergency or necessary. You want people to be comfortable in what they do, and that's going to get them to perform. Once you relax, right? What happens when you relax? You hit the ball better. You run the ball better. You throw the ball better. You gotta freaking relax. And I think these two coaches are on the hot seat. If something bad happens this year to Joe Burrow, if this offensive line does not work out, I can see Zach Taylor being kicked to the curb. Not even necessarily by ownership. The media will bash him to death over choices he made in the draft and offseason.
I mean, he already is in the hot seat, man. Like, these sports critics and all of that, they are nailing him day after day about the decisions in the offseason he's made up until today, And, like, at this point, I'm not mad at him, like, because I think, some of these, it's when the games start is when I'm going to get mad, because ever since that day of the draft, he drafted that Clemson O-lineman and was bragging about how good he is at his position, and immediately was like followed with, but I'm going to switch him to the other side. That just pissed me off. So, like, I'm fine with who he drafted. But when the game comes around and he struggles because you just threw him somewhere else, I'm going to be mad at you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really stoked for this team. I really think
this team has so much potential.
I think they're going to do well. I really do. I think they're going to do well as long as they've shored up the defense enough to handle the NFC or the AFC North, because you got to stop the run if you're going to beat Baltimore. You got to stop the run.
You got to stop the run if you're going to beat the Cleveland. I mean, they got the running back duo of the century.
Yeah, you've got to be able to stop the run, period. Pittsburgh is not such a threat on the run, but you never know what.
Well, Pittsburgh's offensive line is broken.
I think they're the team that's down this year, honestly, and I don't know why Roethlisberger wanted to play again, but whatever.
And especially with an extra game added, I'm going to be surprised if he makes it through the season.
I like it.
Like, he can. I watched his footage in his practice footage this offseason. He does not look good, man. Like, I'm going to be shocked if he makes it all the way through the season.
Yeah, I just that's one guy I'm just ready for to be out of the league. There's a couple of them out there this year that I'm just ready to see somebody new take over and be done with because I just don't care for. And Roethlisberger is one of them for sure.
Agreed.
Yeah, while we were just sitting here gabbing a little bit, and I only briefly mentioned it earlier, but in the National League this year, Jesse and Nick are voted 2 and 3 for the All-Star Game outfield. But listen to this lineup listen to this right now as the way it sits. Oh no, there's a Sadie bug. But check this out.
Everyone say hi to my sister because she doesn't do sports, but she showed up, so we love that.
Yeah, so check out the lineup and tell me what you think so far. Max Muncy at first base. Albies from the Braves at second. Fernando Tatis at short.
Obviously.
And Chris Bryant at third. Buster Posey catching. Acuna in center. Winker in left and Castellanos in right. That's your projected starting lineup so far.
Sounds like an all-star team for real.
There's a lot of good bats in there. There's a lot of there's experience, there's good bats, there's youth. That this lineup has everything. I'm really stoked for just looking at this Twitter feed. I think it's amazing.
Oh yeah, that's a stacked roster right there, man. Could you imagine if that team played an entire season together?
Now see the American League. Other than Judge and right, Trout and center, Salvador Perez behind the plate, Vlad Guerrero Jr. At first base. This Devers kid is at third. I don't know him. There's a Blue Jay at second base that I'm not familiar with. Buxton from the Twins is in left field. And
Buxton is one of the best players in the AL, and he's underrated.
Yeah, I don't get a chance to watch many American League games. So, other than the guys that I do pay attention to, that lineup just seems to suffer by comparison.
Amanda said, who do you think the starting pitcher for both sides? I think it's going to be DeGrom versus Cole.
As of right now, that's probably a fair assessment. I can't see anybody else being the number one. I haven't looked at how well any of the Dodgers pitching staff is doing, but DeGrom I think he's got like an 0.67 ERA. And DeGrom definitely is going to start that game.
Yeah.
And I
don't have any argument there.
Yeah, I really think that he's going to be the guy. The Mets are having a really good season so far with the division that's down. I really can't figure out – I haven't got a chance to watch much. I can't figure out why Atlanta's losing so much this year.
Yeah, me neither. I feel like they have a solid squad.
They pitched well, went to the playoffs last year, and they're just not doing well right now. And I'm not exactly sure what that boils down to.
I haven't got the chance to. I work with the guy who is a big Braves fan, but I haven't got to talk to him the last couple weeks as much as I normally do due to, schedule changes and, different days off and whatever. But he watches literally every single game. He bought the thing to where he could watch every single game for that team or whatever. And so he would probably be able to tell me, but I can't seem to understand either. But like I said, I haven't watched any of their games. The next game of theirs I'm going to watch is when they play Cincinnati in 2 weeks. They're coming to Cincinnati. But
yeah, like I said, Atlanta is 3 games under 500. I figured they would be right there with the Mets, at top of the division, with Philadelphia being just right behind them. There was chances because Washington has a solid team that's not able to win. Miami's in rebuild mode, but that was supposed to be one of the better divisions in the National League this year, and it's just not been.
Yeah. Well, I was looking through the standings the other day. I noticed that the Mets were like ahead by 5 or 6 games, and then everyone else was kind of just down.
Yeah, they're still up 3 games over Philadelphia right now, and they're holding serve. So, I mean, that's a good team. That Mets team is good. It's got everything it needs to win. So,
I mean, that's what matters, I guess. I mean, so do the Reds, but that doesn't mean they always win.
No, they're we're 70 games, 60 games into the season. I mean,
we're above 500 now.
We got 100 games
for another
left.
hour or so. Hopefully we stay above 500. But either way, we'll stay at 500.
Yeah, the game tonight starts at 8 o'clock. I'm really looking forward to watching tonight. Hey, we're almost an hour in. Are you going to have guests up today if anybody wants to join?
I mean, I'll drop a link. If anyone wants to join, they can do so. If not, I'm just going to continue bullshitting with you because that's what we do.
So as far as our schedule goes, we will be in here Thursday night for sure. We may try to do something if our internet's good while we're on vacation.
Yeah, we'll be on vacation all week next week. We're going to do something. I know that you're going to want to go. Shelby, drop your link. You need to go. Everyone here needs to go check out the Card Sharks channel. We're going to be doing – I think I'm going to open a draft box while we're in Florida. And we got some other packs, maybe some baseball, maybe some football. I don't know yet, but we're going to take some packs with us. I know you planned on taking some packs with you as well. We're gonna come down your way after the stream tonight and hit up Walmart since we missed the restock Friday, and see if we can get some other stuff. But we're gonna try to do something and have it up. So if Shelby drops her link, everyone go subscribe to Card Sharks. We're gonna have some fun stuff on there, and maybe when we get back from Florida, we'll do another giveaway and we'll plan something out. I've got those card packs as well for you guys, but not sports. Oh, yeah, Sadie picked us up some Pokemans. Speaking of the devil, here she is. Hello,
Hey.
hello.
What's up?
You just called her the devil.
Yeah.
We were
That's
talking
fine.
about her. It's literally a okay.
Let's see.
But-
Can I drop this real quick?
Yeah. Drop your link.
I just put
Everyone
it.
go. Dad dropped your link as well. Everyone go click on this link and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy sports cards, Pokemon cards. You know what? We almost broke down and bought some Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic cards today for the heck of it. So you know what? We might end up having any kind of cards. If there's any kind of random cards that we can get a hold of and you want to see, we'll open them because we love to open cards. So
We do.
it's an addiction, man. Like I hate the scalpers in the market because like at this point it's not even about us trying to make money. We're just trying. It's just so much fun. Like we would open cards every single day if we could.
Absolutely.
But yeah, definitely check out the Card Sharks channel. We're trying to help that one grow a little bit. We've got some good stuff already recorded and planned, and you don't want to miss out on it. It's going to be amazing, and I just am so excited to show the world. It's been very, very hard keeping it quiet, but we want our channel to grow a little bit before we drop something big like that.
Yeah, did you see? That was the other thing I was going to ask you because you two are by far the biggest soccer fans I know.
The Denmark player?
Christian Eriksen's heart.
I was actually I was scheduled in at work at 1:00 that day. As I walked on and I had got onto the floor, I look up at the TV right as that happened. And like I watched, them giving him CPR for like 10 minutes. The soccer players, the team had stood around him because they wouldn't take the camera off of it, which was so messed up. Like they didn't know if he was dead or if he was alive. They didn't know if he was going to make it, and they kept it all running like on live TV. And like that was insane. One of the high rollers at work told me that he had a heart attack. That's what happened. And which was really weird because this guy like makes fun of me for watching baseball, so I didn't think he liked sports at all. And so he was like, "Yeah, he had a heart attack," but he is a doctor, so he probably heard about that and everything. So,
but I mean, the team doctor basically said that he was gone.
no, yeah, I know. Like no one, they couldn't confirm that he was alive. And so, I mean, it was just insane. And so. Shout out to his family and that team because that team did the right thing, in covering him up and making sure, that his potentially dead body wasn't all over TV for the world to see.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's still some of the little scab videos out there from that, but man, that's just it. But that just goes to prove you because soccer players are probably the best conditioned guys in the world. And I don't know how old he was, but I'm betting somewhere in his mid-20s, maybe up to maybe 30, who knows? And just for his heart to stop like that, and then the guy that just jumped on him and started doing chest compressions, kudos, bro. I mean, he realized immediately and started, putting in the effort to save this guy's life.
Yeah, he 100% is the reason that guy is still alive.
Yeah, I mean, because just keeping the compressions going and getting it through until they get him alive, got him back, and I was, your heart stops watching that because you're sitting there seeing that happen in front of your face, and it's not something you really want to watch. And
no, I had come to work, and this kid that just started in my apartment was like, dude, give me 1 second. I got to tell you something crazy because I hadn't seen it. I caught the second half of it right before they actually got him in a vehicle and was going. And he was like, I think I just watched a soccer player die. And I was like, what? This kid's a ding dong. And so I was just like, no, you're a ding dong. Like, you didn't. And he was like, no, seriously, come look. And he like took me over and showed me. And I was like, what's going on? And so I always you hear about these like horrific accidents in sports, like you always hear them. And I've never seen anything like that. And the fact that I was like watching that live, and I was like, I didn't think, that I don't think that's anything that you ever experience. Like you just watch that happen. And I was like, this is insane. Like this is just, it makes it, hit harder. Like that when you're watching it live and it's happening right then and there. Irregardless of who it is, like you don't want to see that happen to somebody, especially, someone who is well known and well loved, in their country. And so that was just, I don't know, that really sucked. And it was crazy because he was just running and everything stopped and face planted straight into the ground. And I was like, so yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it was, but Amanda, we had some back feed from you for a minute there. I don't know if it's still there or not. I'm just checking with you. Is she? Can you not hear me?
You there, Amanda?
Well, she's obviously there because I can see her blinking and stuff. However, but yeah, that was
the audio. I couldn't hear anything. I've been messing with my settings, trying to fix it.
I muted your mic for a second because I was getting back feed, but I can't mute your sound.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. I'm gonna have to.
Oh, I see it in the chat now. Yeah, that's why we were sitting there trying to talk to you, and you just looked confused.
Yeah. I also got the Mets game on the laptop. It's about to start, so I'm looking forward to that matchup with the Cubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Mets fan today.
Tough game, but yeah, I'm a Mets fan today too.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's a 3-game set with the Mets and Cubs. We've had a couple of 2-gamers, which has been weird. So
yeah, I don't like 2-game series. Like it's either you win them all or you win none.
Yeah, I would much rather watch a 3-game series than a 2. It just doesn't like.
I don't know. It feels like more motivation to win the series. Like you have to win both of them to win the series if it's a 2-game series. But when it's 3, like it's best 2 out of 3, or obviously 3 out of 3. It needs like a little bit more motivation. You lose the first game, well, you still can take the series. But like if you lose the first game in a 2-game series, like okay, well you can't win the series anymore.
Yeah, we actually have a 4-game set against the Cubs, so that's going to be interesting.
Oh, it's a 4-game set?
Yep.
Yeah, that's tough.
Good luck.
We're technically going to have 4 games against Atlanta and Philadelphia next week because we've got a doubleheader on the 21st and a doubleheader on the 25th. So that's really going to be 4 games in both of those series.
It's tough for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, Philly's starting to creep up, and I'm just like, how long can the Mets actually just
coast?
Yeah. That's exactly what they're doing right now. They're coasting.
Yeah, I think it's going to end up a pretty tight division, but they've got pitching enough that they can hold that lead. I mean, pitching's usually what ends up dominating. I mean, the Reds are hitting really well, and their pitching's not doing so well, but yet they're just barely a 500 team right now. Pitching wins. I'm just saying.
Yeah, when you got a trash bullpen.
Let's not even talk about bullpens because that's what gave up the Mets win yesterday against San Diego was the bullpen.
Yeah, but San Diego is kind of a hot team. I mean, they still have some moments, but they're a hot team.
Yeah, the Mets still have Familia, and they never should have brought him back from Oakland after they traded him. So I was pretty pissed about that.
Do you think that, like, they were like, yeah, we traded this guy for a reason. Let's just bring him back anyway. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, that was when the Mets were still owned by what we Met fans call them as the coupons because they didn't want to spend any money for anybody. And once we got Cohen as the new owner, that's how we got Lindor and, all these other blockbuster trades that happened before the season even started. Because he's like, okay, I'm a hedge fund billionaire. Let's throw the money, basically. And, Lindor's starting to finally get comfortable again, and he's hitting. His average for the 3 games against San Diego was like almost 400, I think. That's what I saw on the stats via Twitter.
He went 2 for 4 yesterday.
Hey, so 50% at the plate. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's pretty good. I know you were coming down on Mr. Familia there, but, for the season, even after giving up the 4 runs yesterday, he's still got an ERA in the mid-3s. I mean, he's a quality reliever. I would take those numbers any day of the week right now if you want to give him to us.
Yeah, I mean, oh, hey, we're getting a cat in the video. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like, our bullpen can, clean house, or they can each give up 4 runs in 5 minutes. I mean, the Reds gave up 7 runs in literally 5 minutes last week. And
yeah.
So, like, if anybody who can pitch decent and consistent for the most part, I'll take him.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The guy's had his ups and downs a little bit for them, but he's pitched in 22 games for the Mets this year, and his ERA is around 3, so that means he's given up 3 runs every 9 innings, which is pretty good.
It's solid.
Yeah, I mean, he's got another Dominican, and really, why did they ever actually? They just traded him to Oakland for the postseason in 2018. Is that what that was about? Did they release him and Oakland pick him up? How did that work?
I don't remember how that worked. I know Mets fans personally were not happy after 2015 because he blew game 1, 3, and 5 in the World Series against Kansas City. And then he just went downhill. He was the original closer that we had before we got Diaz. And he just gradually went downhill. I think they had sent him down to AAA once or twice during a couple of seasons and then brought him back up and then eventually just ended up trading him to Oakland. And then, of course, New York sports writers, they know how to give every single New York team hell. It doesn't matter who the team is, but they're like, oh, this is what Familia's ERA is, now. And we look at like DeGrom's ERA, and it was like a comparison of 5 games. I'm like, you can't even compare that. One's a starting pitcher, the other is was a closer. Now he's a setup guy. And I think he definitely does better as a setup guy versus being a closer.
I mean, I'm just sitting here looking at his career stats, and he's a career 3.2 ERA guy with an opponent batting average of 228. Those are stellar numbers. The only real glitch in his whole career was that postseason in 2016. His ERA was 27 in that series. But, I mean, for the most part, he's been solid. You know what? It's hard to find bullpen guys. I can see why they wanted him back. But I mean, everybody's got to have. A change of scenery might do him good for the long haul. Honestly.
Yeah, I could see that, but he's not really been forgiven for blowing our World Series chances at actually.
Oh no, New York fans don't forgive anything like that.
No.
like the ball going between Buckner's feet at first base.
Thank you for mentioning that. That was great.
In all honesty, but anyway, yeah, I mean there's a pretty. Is Stroman your closer this year?
No, Stroman was a starting pitcher.
Oh, I must be thinking.
He pitched not yesterday, but Saturday, and he had a very solid outing. I'm really impressed with how this kid's doing because he just he's like only getting better. So it's DeGrom, Stroman,
Syndergaard.
Yeah, Syndergaard is still on the IL because he had Tommy John surgery last year, so he's still recovering from that. I think he's actually set to come off the IL this month. Sometime this month is what I remember. Lucchesi, I think that's how you say his name.
Lucchesi.
Yeah. He was the one that actually pitched yesterday, I think.
Yeah, he was the one that was winning the game up until the 6th inning.
Gotcha.
He gave up one run in the first 6 innings, and they gave up 7 runs in the 7th.
Yeah.
Something like that. 6 runs in the 7th.
I mean, giving up that grand slam to Fernando Tatis, that
could happen to anybody.
Yeah, it could happen to anybody, but you'd never want to give up a grand slam, especially to a power hitter like Tatis.
Oh, dude, that probably went straight to his fucking head, too. He's such a clown, man. I love him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a phenomenal player. Like, I enjoy watching Tatis play. I think Philip's actually going to try and jump in here.
Dude's a clown. I love it.
I mean, there's a lot of young kids that I really enjoy watching them, play the game. Now, obviously, I'm not a Braves fan by any means, but watching Albies and Acuna, hell yeah. Like,
yeah,
I really like what they bring to the game.
So I think that we've gotten to a good spot in today. Alex, what do you think is going to be? What does the future hold for Thursday night? I mean, where do you think we're going to be at Thursday? Are we going to have our conference finals set in the NBA? Are we going to be bitching about David Bell again? Where are we going to be?
Win or lose, the Reds, we're going to be bitching about David Bell. That's just the way it goes. Until that man is gone, we will bitch about him every single day. And I feel like the team has got to be getting to a point where they're kind of start turning on him because they're doing some dumb shit. I know Naquin's upset right now, and I don't know if we talked about that or not, but Naquin's upset right now with the whole Shogo thing. And I don't know. Like, I just feel like it's going to get to a point, especially if they don't finish the season with a winning record. Either one, they're going to lose everybody, so it's not going to matter if they bitch or not. Or two, everyone's going to stay, and they're all going to attack him until he leaves on his own. So either way, we're going to be bitching about David Bell on Thursday, unless they play an entire perfect game. Unless someone throws a no-hitter, unless everything goes perfectly for the Reds, we're going to bitch about something. So on Thursday, it's either going to be a very exciting start to our stream. We're going to be so happy and everything's just beautiful and rainbows. Or we're going to be sitting here talking about what David Bell did wrong this time and why they should have won but didn't, and what mistakes that have been made. I'm not going to blame most of the players on that roster for them losing games. Like, most of them, it's not their fault. And so, whatever, we're probably going to be bitching about the bullpen if they lose games, like this. That's been a big problem there.
Yeah, I know where you're going. I mean,
Yeah, I just realized I'd cut out because I can see it when it happens, but I never look down and check on it. So everything looks normal when I cut out, and you guys are still moving, and I can still see you. So it's just like, I don't know until finally at the end it glitches, and I'm like, oh shit, well, I've just been talking to nobody. But when it comes over to the NBA side, I don't know. Like, I feel like we're going to be in a good place, and we might not have all of our answers, but we're going to be able to probably foresee the future of the next set of games. I think the Suns have got a great advantage, like you said, maybe not in week 1 or game 1 of the next series, but for the entire next series, I feel like it's going to be pretty easy. It's getting crowded in here now.
I know.
What the hell's up? But yeah, Peyton, the Reds are getting hot again. It all depends on what happens in about 40 minutes when their game starts. They're on the road. They're starting a road series in Milwaukee. Last week didn't go so well for the most part. We'll see what happens there, and that's going to determine a big heat of conversation of what we have on Thursday night. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to go. I'm nervous and excited to watch this Brewers series because sometimes the Reds just completely surprise us on the road and do really well. So coming off of the sweep in in St. Louis, they came home to the Brewers and got their ass kicked. But they're coming off a sweep at home and now going to Milwaukee. And so for some reason, I feel like this momentum is actually going to carry with them as opposed to like kind of slap them in the face like it happened last time. So I have high hopes. I also will not be completely disappointed if they get their ass kicked because you're disappointed, but you're not surprised anymore ever with Cincinnati sports. And
Yeah,
now
I think
I can say he understands being a Browns fan.
I was gonna say, growing up a Cincinnati sports fan, you just roll with the disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, one of our major league sports had to go down a level and drop out of the major leagues because they were so bad. So we lost hockey, and so now we got football and baseball left, and most of the time we're not even surprised anymore, just disappointed. But I think the Cincinnati has high hopes in the near future, if not this season, coming to an end with baseball and start with football in the next couple years. I think Cincinnati will be a better city to be wanted to be played for and everything. Maybe not the last couple of years, but this starting now and moving forward, I think it's going to be good for them for at least a while.
I agree with that.
Wow, wholeheartedly. Go ahead, Shelby.
Oh yeah, we got some jumbo packs today.
Check this bad boy out.
Those cards are that big.
There's 3 cards that are that big in there.
The rest there's booster packs in it, but the main card, the promo or whatever, they're bigger than my head.
That's crazy.
There we go. I couldn't see.
You can see how big it is. Here's my hand.
Yeah, those are huge.
Yeah, and there's 2 booster packs in it, so.
Yeah, we got 6
of those. Yeah, there's 3 cards in each pack that are that big.
Wow. We gonna do put them in picture frames on the wall?
Maybe.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Depends on how cool they are.
Yo, thank you, JP. We appreciate it.
Yeah, JP, I'm getting ready to dip myself, I think so. Oh, no, I thought you were talking about that. I am going to. I've got some video editing to do before I got a video at 9 tonight that comes out. So I'm going to step down and let you guys finish up because I know you're not planning on going past 7:30 tonight, right?
We'll see what happens, I guess.
Well, I'm going to sit down below. If you need me, yank me back up.
Will do.
Nice to see you, Philip.
Nice to see you too.
I was gonna say Philip's not in here as much as Amanda is, so it's like a rare sighting. We come
Right.
home today, Philip's on his rider outside.
It's I'm the hype man.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me turn the volume up a little bit because Flip, you're very quiet.
I can turn mine up.
I don't have headphones on right now, so it's part of the reason.
Well, the mic is also a little further away than what usual.
I got a solution.
My help.
If you put your headphones in, I mean, no one's still quiet.
You're still kind of quiet.
How about just do this?
No, it's still kind of quiet.
Still nothing?
I can hear you now that I have headphones in.
What about now?
Hey, Alex, did you see who you guys have starting tonight?
Yeah, that dude. It's his fourth start. I can't ever remember his name, but
Gutierrez.
Gutierrez. Yeah, he's pretty good. I'm pretty content with the way he's been pitching.
Who's the one
Yeah,
that
I'm not
keeps,
mad about that.
losing for us?
What's that?
Who's the one that keeps losing for us? The pitcher.
I mean, Amir Garrett has been awful. Castillo has probably been our worst starter, but he's getting better.
I'm gonna try to do this.
Sonny, he's out with a groin injury. I don't know who is actually losing for us, but it's usually not our starter's fault. Other than Castillo, it's every time he plays a game and it's cold outside, he's really bad.
Yeah, I
He's a
noticed
warm
he
weather
actually
guy.
did well for you guys, like when you guys went to San Francisco and he was on the mound. He threw a good game. Comes back to Cincinnati and
Yeah, he does not play well in the cold. And it had been pretty cold in Cincinnati when they had been home a lot of their games. And so, it's hot out now. So I'm hoping that he heats up with the sun.
right.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know if you guys saw or not where the NBA is looking to implement a rule where if players try to get fouled, like if they have like an unnatural shooting motion and try to like get a foul called, that
Steph Curry,
they're gonna James Harden,
James Harden.
yeah, Trey Young, James Harden, they're both really bad about it, but they're looking to like penalize him for it.
Steph does it a lot when he shoots threes, and he doesn't think he's gonna make it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's
I
good,
mean-
honestly, because there's a lot of that lately.
Well, you can tell though, like it's very obvious.
It's like, oh, like
Yeah, it's dumb. It's just dumb, and it makes me so mad every time that shit happens, and they call a foul every time. And I only say Steph Curry is because like a lot of those guys, like when you turn the TV on and you're looking for like a game to watch, and it's the NBA season, you're gonna see wherever LeBron is, you're gonna see Golden State because of Steph. Like those games are always gonna be on TV. And so I watched a lot of Golden State games this year, and I watched him do it time after time. I mean, Luka does it sometime, But like I feel like Luka does it because he's cornered into a wall. Like he's getting the whole team is on him. There's nothing he can do, and so he just shoots the ball to try to get out of it, and so he tries to foul his way out of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I've noticed this with players who've been in a while too. They know how to get the penalties.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said James Harden.
Well, it's not just basketball; it's football too.
Oh, it's football too.
They know how to sell.
Stuff.
Like, I mean, with football, you can see when the defense is definitely trying to draw a false start penalty, and vice versa with offsides or neutral zone infraction.
I think the biggest one is pass interference.
I was gonna say pass interference and like the 14 or the 13 man when there's like an extra player on field, how they rush the play and get the ball off just for the penalty. I'm like, if you would have just taken your time, you might have had a better play than after, the penalty. But a lot of teams will see that and they'll like, come on, we got to snap the ball right now, which is going to leave room for mistakes, even if, whatever, you're rushed.
That's also a mentality thing too.
I mean, yeah, I know, I agree. But like, I just think it's funny. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to get what? It's like just a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, but it's also like it could be enough to get you first down, or make it first and 5 instead of first and 10.
Well, yeah, no, I understand the purpose, and it does help sometimes, but sometimes it's just like, was it even necessary to like force yourself to get set? I feel like someone's more likely to get hurt from rushing than to actually just playing.
I would see that as you're more likely to get a false start.
Like that too, yeah. You might counteract each other and be pointless.
Yep.
I know it wasn't that much of a factor in 2020, but in from here on out, when we have people in the stadium, that noise is going to have some sort of effect on it too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially the linemen, because they really rely on snap counts.
Why do you think most teams hate going to Seattle?
That's true.
New Orleans.
Kansas City.
No stadium is as loud as Seattle.
Kansas City.
Arrowhead is the loudest stadium
too, and so is Arrowhead.
What a badass name, dude.
Those are like the 3 loudest stadiums: is Arrowhead, Seattle, and New Orleans.
Well, New Orleans is a dome.
So like Indy.
Well,
when we went to
you heard how loud they get.
Dude, we went to I just lost my train of thought completely. I don't even know, it's gone. I wouldn't say in the world.
That's what it
I
says.
feel like that Snapchat filter was a little dramatic. I would say the world, but it's pretty loud there.
It was 142.2 decibels.
I don't speak science very well.
It's loud.
I mean, I'm gathering that much, but I don't know what that compares to.
Yeah,
let's look it up.
I remember there was a broadcast. They did Seattle and Kansas City. They were both playing different teams, and it was like a scream off or something of which stadium could be the loudest.
So
this was a few years ago.
So 140 decibels is known as a pain threshold, or as loud as the first Monday of this month siren from close by.
Well, when you have to include the word pain in it, I feel like that's pretty loud.
Because 110 is a rock concert or a chainsaw, and is known as extremely loud. And 120 is a human voice at its loudest, or a police siren. And then thunder at 130, so that surpasses thunder.
Jesus Christ.
That's impressive.
I mean, when we were there, it wasn't full capacity, so it's kind of hard to gauge that.
I was going to say, if you guys did that with like 30% capacity, it's pretty terrifying.
It was loud as hell. Like
Yeah,
I
I
was
think there
sitting
was.
right next to Alex, cuddled up basically because it was so damn cold, and I couldn't hear half the things she was saying. So
Well, how much of that do you think is acoustics versus actual people loudness?
I don't know. That's what I was thinking. Well, I cut out as I said it, but I was like, do you think the loudness of that stadium has to do with the fact that they're sitting up on a hill? Like they're above everything?
And they're each shouting down into the pitch.
Yeah.
They're just kind of bouncing.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at their full setup because I think I've seen that before. And like, yeah, I can see that being loud. Have a concert in there.
That'd be nutty.
Especially a heavy metal concert. But oh yeah, that would be pretty loud. It's basically built like a giant speaker.
yeah,
I know. Yeah, when we went, there was only 12,000 people there, or something like that, and it was very loud. I wonder what it would be like at the actual loudest place in the world that people were at. Like what that experience would be like. Would it even be worth it? Could you hear anything?
Well, you would, and there would be a lot of pain.
Yeah, see, that's nuts.
Okay, can I share
Like
images here? Is that what
uh,
the share is?
it might. I think guests can share. It's
Oh,
like
I
a
can
shared
just share
screen.
screen. Oops. Well, that's really tiny anyway.
yeah.
Sorry, the random noises in the background. This is the child.
There's construction going on in our playroom.
I thought it was a fire truck.
He's got one of those too.
Let's not talk about fire trucks.
What did we miss? Damn.
When I was a kid, I hit my dad in the head with a fire truck, and now since I have a kid and he's got a fire truck, it's only a matter of time.
Fair. One time when I was a kid, me and my dad were throwing a softball in the yard, and we didn't throw baseballs, but we threw a softball because he played men's softball for ever until just a couple years ago. So we had a bunch of the softballs, and we were just playing catch in the yard. And one time, while we were throwing, someone came outside and talked to him, and for whatever reason, I just took the softball and I launched it straight up in the air as high as I could. He was pretty close, but I thought I threw it far, and it came down and went right in the head. I was like, out of all the places that could have landed, it came down right on his fucking head.
Hey, yeah, getting hit by a softball in any capacity hurts.
He was so mad.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, softballs are
they're huge. I just yeeted it straight upward for whatever reason because I was a dumb kid. I just did dumb things, and it just went. And he just turned around and looked at me, and I was like, "Oh God." Is that an arrowhead?
It's built like a speaker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see if we can find a better picture.
Yeah, I think as kids we all did dumb things.
Yeah,
That's fair.
It's built like a speaker.
That's kind of how the baseball stadium right next to it is built too. It's just not as yeah, it's not as low though. It's more upward, more bowl shaped. Because those two stadiums are connected on top of the hill. The only thing that separates them is the parking lot.
Oh, that's interesting to know.
Yeah, it's crazy because both of those stadiums are on a hill, and there's 2 miles of parking lot just surrounding it, and then there's just roads to get to the top. So that's the only thing that's up there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool though. They have the training. Yeah, they have the training facility on your way up the hill, and then they have once you finally get in there, you have the Royal Stadium on the left side, and then the Arrowhead on the right.
It's a cool setup. It saves them like space in the city too.
Yeah.
They share
I'm
parking.
definitely trying to go to Arrowhead when the Giants go play them in November.
That's a lot of seating. They downsized, but 76,000 people they can hold.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, that is a lot of people. Could you imagine, like, though, if there was like an actual concert or festival there, how many people would actually be there? Because that would probably, they'd probably cut the field in half, or like maybe in like 75-25 for the stage to be at the end, and the grass would be full of people plus all of the seats. Like, could you imagine that on top of the actual music being played with the speakers?
It'd probably be close to like 80,000 people.
Yeah, I mean, look at like Sonic Temple and how many people go to that, and that
was like 40,000.
I was gonna say that stadium's not that big, but that's a lot of people.
Yeah, I think at the last time that I went, and like it was like at the peak of the day, they said there was like 47,000 people in there.
Insane.
And that was like on the Columbus Crew field. And so it's not quite as big, but yeah, Matt Free. I was trying to think of what it was called. I knew it had a weird name.
Yeah. Been there a couple times.
So it looks like the largest capacity stadium is the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum at 93,000 people.
God.
Followed by MetLife, which is 82.5.
Yeah. I was gonna say I thought Dallas was up there too.
It
was either Dallas and Green Bay. I thought were like up there.
I haven't seen Dallas yet. Lambeau is at number 4 with 81,000, and then Dallas with 80. Cost per seat, holy crap! Apparently, this is got to be like an average. There's no way it costs $18,750 per seat in AT&T Stadium.
No, it's on average.
Yeah, it's got to be an average. At least you guys pay $3,300 per seat for a seat at Arrowhead because they're next.
Sounds fairly close,
I mean, I guess it depends on the game and time of year.
Yeah.
Or what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the Giants play Kansas City on November 8th. It's a Monday. I'm trying to go.
That's a long drive.
But it'd be worth it.
Yeah, it would be worth it, but it would. Part of me just wishes we would have like flown or something because that drive is rough.
Would it be worth it for you though, Amanda?
Oh hell yeah! Would it be worth it NFL game?
Yeah,
but to go watch the Giants get their ass kicked.
Yeah, I mean, not that. No, not that. Like, I wouldn't take a baby in there, man. that would. I don't know. I didn't.
Oh no! It'd be my first NFL game.
I keep freezing every time I try to say anything, but my ears didn't feel safe there.
Does anyone want to guess where the Bengals Stadium ranks and seating capacity?
Isn't it like it's towards the bottom? Isn't it like 40?
It's 25th.
43,000.
Yeah, there's 65,000.
65. Oh, I got been a lot more than I thought. I thought it was a little lower than that. It's not very big.
No, that's why they can never hold any type of tournament or anything like that there.
I mean, I guess it could if it was like not important.
Yeah.
I don't think this is that current because it's still showing the old Oakland stadium.
The baseball field?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably changed.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the because the lowest seating capacity in NFL is StubHub Center for Los Angeles Chargers, and it holds 27,000 people.
And they couldn't even sell out when they were there. That's so sad.
Fuck you, Spanos.
Oh, that's so sad. It
I
makes
wonder
it
what the
more
capacity
sad.
at SoFi is.
What was that?
I wonder what the capacity at SoFi is.
Probably like 12 of that. I don't know, like a lot, probably. I haven't looked into it yet.
It's got to be at least 28,000 people.
Well, yeah, it's got to be at least a little bit bigger. They got a little more promise now. Oh, that makes me feel so bad for them. They got the lowest seating stadium, and they never could sell out of it. Oh.
It's because everyone hates Spanos.
I mean, fair
point.
But Phillip Rivers, dude.
Okay, so SoFi Field holds 70,000 people.
Which one?
SoFi.
SoFi, 70. That's not bad.
That's in California. That's the Rams new stadium.
The Rams and the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it holds 70,000, but it's expandable up to 100,000.
Damn. Yeah, I feel like it'd be.
Yeah, so somehow they can just pull 30,000 seats out of their ass. If they're gonna do that, they might as well stay up first. You're gonna need a lot of fiber to move that out.
What the hell?
Well, I hope for $5 to $6 billion worth of build, you could pull 30,000 seats out of nowhere. I mean, I guess you could just put them in the parking lot. I don't know where we're gonna get them. Put them on the roof. What about the Raiders?
How do they plan?
What's the Raiders stadium called?
The Death Star.
Death
I don't know.
Star Stadium.
They'll probably come up.
Oh, you guys were not joking.
I told you I don't know what it's called, but I know what it looks like.
It's lovely called the Death Star, but I don't think that's what its actual name is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, come on. 65,000. Allegiant Stadium.
Collegiate, there it is.
Allegiant.
Allegiant. Yeah, as soon as I said collegiate, I was like, I know that's wrong.
Let's see. Oh, it's 65,000, but expandable to 72,000.
Well, I feel like that's better than expanding 30,000 seats.
It's a little less to handle, yeah.
I just don't get it.
For some reason, only 61,000 that's dedicated to soccer. So I guess they only have 4,000 football fans.
Oh. Well, that's probably no. I want to say that's accurate because I hate them, but seriously, there's so many Raiders fans in the world. It's unreal.
I don't know why I can't get this angle right. Oh my god,
I don't understand.
I guess what that means is that if they hold like a Super Bowl or something, they can just pull more seats out of their ass.
Well, it could be like end zone seats. Like for soccer, you don't have to have. Or
That's
like, you have to have more space on the end zone line.
Right. Well, I meant like for the expandable, for like extra seating. I guess it's for if they hold like events or stuff, maybe like a Super Bowl or the draft. I don't think there's going to be 72,000 people at a draft, but
you never know with Vegas fans.
Vegas fans are wild.
Vegas people in general are wild. It's just not even their fans.
Well, there's like what, 30 casinos down there?
30,000 casinos. I don't know.
There's closer to like there's probably closer to 100.
They have more slot machines than population.
Right.
I mean,
144 casinos are in Las Vegas.
Yeah. I knew it was somewhere around 100. I just didn't know exactly.
No, I feel like there's more tourists in Vegas than there are residents.
So another little fact: there's a 111,257 legal slot machines as of January 1st, 2021 in Nevada.
Legal?
Legal.
They can't count the illegal ones.
Well, there's probably no data on the illegal ones, but there's
what is considered an illegal slot machine?
Someone's like, "Hey, I want to buy a slot machine," and they buy one off Craigslist.
Oh, okay. So like in people's homes.
Yeah.
I was thinking like underground casinos.
Hey, well, you might.
Yeah, it's people that own them themselves, and I don't know what the law is in Vegas, but in Indiana, the owner of a slot machine has got to be like over 30 years old or something. It's got to be a lot older than what you think a slot machine would be to own it.
Really?
Basically, it's got to be out of commission or an antique.
Okay.
My uncle had a slot machine in his house for the longest time. So I wonder if that was legal.
He stole it.
Maybe not. Well, people get slot machines through various means, but like sometimes people buy cabinets.
That's fair.
Because I think you can. I don't know. I think that the law might be a little gray in this regard, but like I think you can buy one. I don't think you can have it operating. So I don't know how that works.
I think it has like if you can use like coins, but you can't use like real money in it or something like that. Like you can't use it to make money. I think as part of it.
I hate your keyboard so much.
I love it.
Okay, so for possessing a slot machine in Indiana, possessing and selling slot machines are illegal. However, you may possess an antique slot machine. Antique slot machines are at least 40 years old and must be used for decorative, historic, or nostalgic purposes. They may not be used for profit.
Makes sense, though. You don't want to take away money that the casino could be making.
Well, and it's also Indiana. It has to be heavily regulated. So.
Yeah. I want a slot machine. I'm not 30, but I want one. I'll go buy one in another state and never tell anyone.
It doesn't matter how old you are. It's just the slot machine.
Oh, I thought you said the owner.
No, the slot machine has to be 40 years old or older.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you said the owner had to be at least. And I was like, well, it's going to be a long time for that, but I still won't. But, whatever works, I guess. Indiana has some weird rules. Like, you can own a kangaroo, but you have to have a slot machine that's 40 years old or older.
Right.
Philip, let's get a kangaroo.
I don't feel
what did you say?
She wants a kangaroo.
Well, it's not actually a kangaroo. It's like a kangaroo mixed breed. I don't think kangaroos are actually legal in Indiana, but a kangaroo mixed breed is legal. But they're very hard to keep. It's like it costs at least $3,000 a month to care for it because I was gonna get one. With food and living quarters and everything they need, it's like about $3,000 a month just for the pet. And I'm like, God damn, I want one. But
it's like what's like on a horse.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, when I looked that up and said that you could legally own one of those, I was like, yeah, I gotta do what it takes. But it was when I lived in Kentucky though, so I had a game plan to move over here because it was the closest state that you could own it. I might just get a donkey or something, ride it. Why not?
Get a couple of mules, and you never have to mow again.
That's true. If only our dogs ate grass, then I'd never have to mow again because they pee enough that half our grass doesn't grow. I just need to eat the other half.
Yeah.
Reminds me of what I used to do in Roller Coaster Tycoon. Save on maintenance people. I replace all the grass with sand.
That's what I would do too.
Fair tactic. That's a fair tactic.
Or rock.
I don't know if you can do that in the first one.
I don't know about the first one.
Sand being the thing I always went to because he just got rid of the grass. So
you about ready to wrap this up so we can go get some groceries?
Yeah, I guess. I'm tired.
I know.
Yeah, we've got a full fridge ourselves.
Well, we're not gonna fill our fridge completely because we won't be here, but our nephew's gonna be staying here, so we gotta at least put food in it for him.
that's right. You're going on vacation.
Yep.
Yeah.
What part of Florida are you guys going to again?
Well, we're staying in Orlando, but one of the days we're going down to Tampa for the day. You can see our buddy Rob and check out a pirate ship.
That'll be awesome.
And flip off a cardboard cutout of Tom Brady while wearing a Chiefs jersey. It's gotta happen.
Please videotape that. I want to see it.
Oh man, everyone's gonna see it. I'm gonna make it everywhere.
Speaking of Tom Brady, you ever see that skit he was in where he goes into it's like a Sears or something, and it's in California since he's from California, and nobody can understand him because of his thick Boston accent that he doesn't have. So he gets so pissed off in that one.
I cut out, so I don't know.
Oh,
that's funny though.
Yeah, well, it's like he goes to a department store, and they have a cardboard cutout of him, and he's standing right next to him, and people start to recognize him. It's like, oh, you're that Tom Brady guy, and he starts talking like how he normally talks because he's from California, and they're like, oh, I can't understand you with that thick Boston accent. And they start mocking him, and he gets so pissed off.
That's good, man. That's good.
That's funny.
I'll have to share it later.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that. I have never seen anything Tom Brady's in other than just interviews and stuff and the TikToks he makes. He recently made a TikTok where he made fun of himself about them. And that was pretty good. I'll have to send it to you guys. I'll find it again.
It was
But he literally said, that was the most confused I've ever been in my entire life. I was like, yeah, you can see it on your face, dude. I mock you every week for it.
Well, we've been in the league for 20 years.
That was the best day of my life. The Bears made it look like
5 downs. With you, Tom.
I thought
4 downs, and then the other team gets first down.
God, I just hate that man. Oh, can't wait to piss off some Tampa Bay fans while I'm in Tampa. That's my ultimate goal, is to get yelled at least 5 times. If I don't get yelled at, I'll be disappointed in the whole trip. I don't care if the Orlando people see me and are like, fuck you. It won't feel as good as when I go to Tampa, and I hope I get at least 5 fuck yous. Or your team fucking sucks. We clapped your asses. I just want someone to talk shit to me, some stranger.
You know, it'd be really funny if that happens if you go on a pirate ship in Tampa.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good. I know. We're gonna try to get into the stadium so I can get. I want to stand on that pirate ship, but I don't know if they'll let me. But I'm going to try my best. Our buddy who lives in Tampa might be able to help me. But I want to be wearing Chiefs gear on that pirate ship. That's
well,
my
Alex,
only
if it doesn't
goal.
go well for you, it was nice knowing you.
That's true, like if I get my ass beat, it's been real. Everyone can watch this live stream to reminisce on the poorly
They
planned
make you walk to
plan.
blank.
I'm fine with it, dude. I deserve it. I'm an asshole. It'd be so worth it. I don't care if someone jumped me. Like, it would be so worth it. just because, like, I'm 4'11". Like, I'm gonna roll up on someone, and someone's really gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna kick the shit out of this toddler." Like, it would be worth it to me to get my ass beat. Because, like, I would still be talking shit. I'd be like, "Oh, you feel good? You're 6'2" and you beat the shit out of a little girl." Like, oh man. This is how I'm gonna get killed one day because I don't ever stop running my mouth. But I would too. I don't care how much pain I'm in. I'm just gonna talk shit.
And on your gravestone, it's gonna say, "I talk shit to the very end."
That's true, man.
What are you gonna do? Stab me?
My last words were, "I ain't hear no bell." With a picture of Randy Marsh on it.
Beat up, drunk, shirtless.
At a baseball game. I ain't hear no bell.
Hey, yeah. What you want to do?
But we're gonna go get some groceries and hopefully some more cards. Then sleep. I'm so tired. Hi, Kitty.
I'm tired too.
Meg's been there the whole time.
Oh, there was another one that just walked through.
Oh yeah, that was Rogue.
Which wasn't very rogue. Oh my gosh, before we go, have you guys seen the kittens? There's 4 of them that live 2 houses down from you. Well, I think they live there. I don't know, but they're like this big. They're so freaking cute. Also, the white and orange cat was sleeping by your FRS today for like an hour. We were just watching him sleep.
It's a good place to sleep.
Yeah, he came over and we came outside and he was sitting down in between our cars and I went, "Oh, hey," he was just staring at me. And I was like, "I thought you were napping over at Phillips or on Phillips' car."
He was just like,
he was just grumpy ass little cat. But no, there's 4 kittens and 3 of them are white and gray and 1 of them is white and black. And they've just been playing outside every day. And I'm going to steal one. I don't care that this is live and can be seen anywhere. I'm going to get one of those cats.
Well, I mean, if they're actually strays, then.
Well, they let one of the cats inside, but the kittens don't come inside. They sleep under the house, from what I've gathered. But I
they probably can't get under the house to get them out.
All right, completely.
What am I doing?
Getting a kitten for Alex.
I'll get the eye black.
I want one of the gray ones. If I took the black one, they'd notice. There's a lot of gray ones.
I mean, you get.
I'm just scrolling on Amazon right now.
Are those crayons?
Is that like
makeup?
Yeah.
No, they're crayons.
Oh.
It did look like a makeup
classroom pack. Yeah. Well, it's like the classroom packs, like how they have like the marker, like the huge boxes of markers and stuff you get out for art class or whatever. That's crayons like that. Yeah. There's 800 total for $58. Not too shabby.
No.
Alright, dog.
Alright, home dogs and cats. We will see ya on the flip.
flip flop.
All right, we'll see ya.